This is the one that's going to stick. It's raining here in Bali at the moment. So my Wi-Fi wasn't working, then I had to connect to uh my hotspot, but we're here. We're here. And I believe that we are live on Facebook. Amazing. If you are watching on a replay, please comment replay. Let me know that you're watching because Instagram doesn't let me know, Facebook doesn't let me know, and also YouTube, when it's up on a replay on YouTube, it's not going to let me know either. So I really, really appreciate when you tune in. Hi, Tapas Yogi. I hope you're well. I'm sending you love. I really appreciate when you tune in and you share your energy, your time, and your attention with me, because all of those commodities are pretty much your most important commodities. Money is important, but money can always be made back, right? When it comes to your time, you're never going to get your time back. When it comes to your energy, that takes time to build up. And when it comes to your attention, it's actually your attention that creates the focus. So where we're putting our attention is really, really important. So yes, we are live here. So thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you're well. I'm sending you all of the love. I'm going to do my best to continue to look at the Facebook camera, but sometimes I might look at Instagram. If you are watching there's two on live on Instagram. So thank you for being here. If you want to say anything to what I'm saying, if you have any questions, then please feel free to use the chat. This is why I do live videos, so we can all interact, because this is a conversation, right? I love to be in community and to be in conversation and share what I'm learning and how I'm moving and grooving to support you. And it also supports if you're interactive as well, because then I can support you even more. So yes, okay, let's go into it. I'm going to be talking about circulation versus extraction economics today. And the fact of the matter is, right now, most people are trying to make money inside systems that are designed to drain them. And it's not our fault. We have been born into and led through a system that is extractive by nature. That's just the way that it is. If we zoom out and look at it all, the system extracts our time, our energy, it extracts resources from the planet, and it's just generally not good for us as a whole. There are good points to it, of course, just like with anything, there's pros and cons. However, when we zoom out and look at it as a whole, it's pretty much destroying the planet. So it's really, really important that we as individuals work on moving from extraction-based systems to circulatory-based systems. And when we do this, what we're doing is we're moving from survival economics, survival consciousness, and a way and a being of lack and scarcity and fear towards regenerative wealth. And when we move towards regenerative wealth, we're also reprogramming our consciousness and our way of being to that of abundance and possibility and expanse, because that's the whole point of circulation. Everything circulates and supports one another rather than extracts. So let's go deeper into extraction. When it comes to these extractive-based systems for economics, this is when wealth flows up and out of communities. So, for instance, if you are regularly shopping in a in a oh God, the word's gone out of my head, like Tesco, for instance, or Walmart, you know, those big companies. Yeah, when we're shopping there, that doesn't go back into the community. That actually goes up and out to the shareholders and the owners of those big companies, and it doesn't come back to us as individuals. Yes, the people that work for them get paid, but they get paid pittances in comparison to what the shareholders and the CEOs and the people at the top get paid. And through these companies, generally, these companies extract from the communities, and they also extract from the planet itself and destroy the planet in various different ways through their production and through their transport and everything that's included within the companies. These companies as well, they mainly focus on profit over people. They care more about the money than they do the people that are actually working for them and building their businesses. And they also care more about speed over sustainability. And maybe you've been affected by this in some which way or another. I know I personally was when I was made redundant back in 2018. They outsourced my job to a country that they could pay less for my job, and also people in my team as well. Fortunately, at the time, I was already plugged into the regenerative wealth path and I was building my business. So it was more of a welcome for me that I got that redundancy. But for so many people, it's not, and it really affects them badly. And even now, more than ever, with AI being introduced and the expansion of technology, people's jobs are being made redundant all over the world. And there's actually numbers I can't think of the top of my head, but yeah, technology is taking around about 80% of jobs. So it's really important that we really start to take responsibility of taking full control over our own economic structure and move from these extractive systems over to circulatory systems. Okay, hopefully my battery, I might have to go and get my charger. 1 second, let me get my charger from my phone. Technology, darling, technology. We're back, we're back, we're back. So then with that as well, when consumers are typically buying from these bigger companies, they're also disconnected from what they're funding. They're disconnected from the companies themselves. They don't even think about what the companies are doing as a whole in the planet, in the community, and how they're affecting them, and what their pollution is, for instance. They're not thinking about that. They're completely disconnected. They just go in, they buy, they don't think about it, and they're actually funding nefarious things. They're funding companies that are funding wars and genocide and yeah, yeah. And so many people are disconnected from this. They don't even realize. And large corporations are removing money from local economies in various different ways, as with burnout culture that comes with these big companies. We're taught to do, to work, work, work. And most of these big companies, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, they don't care for the person's well-being. They don't care for the families. They just care for the production. And then with that production comes underpaid labor. We're not paid enough to live. We're just paid enough to survive. We can't thrive. And why the fuck did we come to this planet? We came here to thrive. We came here to live our best lives. And typically within these extractive systems, we can't. If we have the time, we haven't got the money. No, yeah, yeah. If we have the time, we haven't got the money. And if we have the money, we haven't got the time. So it's extracting from us in some which way or another. And if we have the money and the time, maybe we haven't even got the energy because of how much it's taking from us energetically. So it's really thinking about, okay, well, what is this actually giving me? Is this regenerating me? Is this generating me? Is this lifting me up? And is this making me feel good and better about my life and forward movement? And then with that as well, there's overconsumption cycles because people are plugged into these extractive systems. They're being extracted from in various different ways. So there's this void in them. And especially where they haven't got enough time to be able to focus on themselves, there's no time to really pour into their cup. So there's this void. And then what do? They overconsume, whether that be overconsuming food or alcohol or drugs or shopping. There's some kind of overconsumption within that cycle for them to fill this void that if they were just part of a regenerative system that filled their cup as much as they were filling others through their actions by being plugged into a regenerative system, then they wouldn't feel the need to overconsume. So the real cost of these extractive systems are depleted nervous systems, fractured communities, and dependency on these systems as well. And this is not good for anyone involved. Now, when it comes to circulatory systems, This is when wealth flows within and through communities, and it goes round, and everyone within the community is supported. And the value exchange is relational, it's not transactional. So it's built on connection, it's built on supporting one another, it's built on lifting one another. And money becomes a tool for connection rather than control. Okay, well, how can I support you? How can I lift you up? How can I help you rather than trying to control anyone or the outcome? And then ultimately, what that does, the money that circulates through these communities multiplies impact because of the way that these people are benefited because of the money that comes through. And as they're benefited, they expand, they grow, and then they ultimately want to give more money and give more resource to other people because there's only so much money that we fucking need. There's only so much money that we need until we've got an overflow. And then when we've got an overflow, especially women, when we have an overflow, we want to give. Okay, well, I have enough to live a thriving life. I'm living my life exactly how I want. I've designed my life. I have the freedom. I feel fulfilled. I have all of this money. Okay, well, what can I do to make the community a better place, to make the world a better place? Hello, Ralph. I hope you're well. I'm sending you love. So, through this, through the circulatory systems, this multiplies impact because of the way that people feel and because of the connection that people have to one another. Now, there's a lot of talk between local and global. We should go local, we shouldn't go global. And it's not a case of this and that, it's a case of mixing and bringing both together. It's aligned global circulation. This is what we want to be thinking about. We want to be thinking about, okay, well, where do I want to put my money that may be it towards another country or towards an initiative that's not necessarily based in my local community? However, in the grand scheme of things, because there is alignment and because there is resonance between our frequency and between our hearts, it's circulating globally and it will just come back through this particular global community that's being built through the circulatory economical system. Yeah. So it's more like global grounding. It's more like local grounding. So thinking about grounding yourself in your local community and then thinking about global reach as well. And this is the beauty of the internet. This is the beauty of being able to connect over our phones. Like Ralph knows me from I don't know where you know me from, but he knows me on the internet, right? So it's and this is the beauty is I think Ralph, you're in India, I think. So he's contacting me. I'm in fucking Bali. I'm from the UK. The only reason I'm in Bali is because of this circulatory global movement that I'm a part of. I wouldn't have even thought about coming here unless I was a part of this online community. And ultimately, this has allowed me to expand on my reach with the people that I'm meeting here in Bali. And the internet allows me to expand my reach even further of the people that I'm able to connect to when it comes to different countries. Yeah. So this is what creates resilient ecosystems, essentially. We have local grounding, grounding into our communities to think about, okay, well, how can I benefit my local community? What can I give back to my local community? And how can I create a global reach, i.e., by creating an online community where I can globally reach people? So that's the beauty of this digital era that we're living in. That's the beauty of having access to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, the internet. We can connect with one another and we can share our frequencies with one another. We can share our hearts. We can share what we're passionate about. We can share the way in which we desire to support our people in that way and ultimately circulate our frequency and our vibe and our perspective and our wisdom and everything that we have to offer globally without extraction. It's like, okay, well, this is what I have. This is what's here. This is how we can move. If you want to join, if you connect to my values, if you connect to my frequency, and if you feel aligned, then let's go. So, a question for you to think about personally is, where does your money go after you spend it? Where do you spend your money? Hello, Jenta Glover. I hope you're well. I'm sending you love. Because, like I said before, as a part of the extractive economy, consumers are typically not thinking about what they're funding when they're spending their money. For instance, fast fashion. Okay, it's fast, it's cheap, it makes sense when it comes to your pocket, but what is that funding in the grand scheme of things? When What is that funding? A lot of the times there's sweatshops, they're extracting from the earth, and the clothes from fast fashion, they're not even good for us to wear because of the frequency of the clothes. If you don't know anything about frequency of clothes, I do highly encourage you to look into it, because polyester is plastic. And if we're wearing polyester, the vibrational frequency of that piece of clothing is actually extracting from our frequency. So we feel like, yeah, it's better for my pocket because I'm spending my money here, but yeah, you're spending your money. It doesn't last for that long, for one, fast fashion. It's extracting from your energy and it's extracting from the world and other people. That's not beneficial for anyone. That's it's not good, right? So it's really thinking about our choices in this, and it's taking away judgment as well and being very compassionate with ourselves, because we've been trained in this way. We've been trained to spend our money this way. And once we open all of our eyes, we start to see, oh no, actually, that doesn't align with my values. Oh no, actually, that doesn't align with where I desire to go. That doesn't align with how I wish to consume personally. So first and foremost, it's coming back to, okay, what are my values? What do I want to fund? How do I want to contribute to this world? And then slowly making switches that align with your values. And it takes time. This is a marathon. This isn't a race. There's so many connections. There's so many insidious connections to this extractive system that is like, oh, okay, I see that. Okay, so I'm working towards getting out of that. How do I do that? And how do I move forward in the way that I desire? Right. So it's slowly, step by step, with love, with compassion, without judgment. Yeah. So when it comes to extractive corporations versus aligned ecosystems, we look at these extractive corporations and they have centralized power. They've got disconnected decision making, in the sense of it's disconnected from everyone that's in the corporation. It's just the people at the top that make all the decisions, and it just feeds down. They don't really care for how their decisions affect the people in the corporation. And there's also scale without soul. They want to expand their profits and they want to make more money, and they don't think about the people or anyone or anything that may be involved with this scaling. For instance, iPhones. They want to keep making iPhones, keep making iPhones. Okay, well, what about those little boys in Congo that are mining for, I think it's the cobalt that they need for the phones? We don't need to keep updating our phones. We don't need to be in this. I mean, I don't even know what fucking phone. I think I've got an iPhone 13 and it's perfect for what I need. Why do we need to keep going to 18, 19, 20? I don't even know where they're at now, and it's really thinking about this. It's what is my money funding? What am I a part of here? And we can't be perfect because we're living in a world that's governed by an extractive system. However, we do get to pick and choose certain things and do our best to come back into alignment with our values. So, really thinking about that and being aware of the corporations that we're actually putting money into. And then when we come to aligned ecosystems, what these look like are shared values, where we're coming together and we have overarching shared values, even though we might be approaching it slightly differently. because we're human. There's 8 billion of us. There's going to be 8 billion different perspectives and ways to go. However, if we can come together with these shared values, then it's easier for us to move forward together. There's distributed leadership. So it's not a case of these corporations with the CEOs and the shareholders at the top making all of the fucking decisions and leading it down. No, it's distributed leadership. We all get to come back to our own form of self-leadership and move ourselves towards what it is that we're desiring to create through these shared values. And everyone's basically in control of the way that they desire to move within these ecosystems. And then growth that feeds everyone that's involved. So everyone wins, essentially. No one's extracted from, and everyone gets supported in the way that they need supporting and where it meets them, essentially. So these days, people are starting to see and align with all of this, and they're not just wanting income. Of course, they do because they need to live. However, they want belonging and impact more than they want the income. And this is where we're going. This is where we're moving towards. And this is why I truly believe that network distribution models are the way forward in the creation of this new world that we're moving towards. We're seeing the old systems crumble beneath our feet, in front of our eyes, and it's up to us to start to shift and create new models and new ways of being. So the traditional model, when it comes to the corporations, it's top down decisions, the information's gate kept and everything's controlled. The people at the bottom, they're just told what to do. They're told how to work. They're told how much they're worth. They're told when they need to show up, la, la, la. And everything's controlled within that system. Whereas the network models, this is peer-to-peer. This is trust-based. This is expansive. This is everyone supporting everyone. And then when it comes to the leverage that these network distribution models have, it's community-driven growth. So the more we come together as community and the more we come together to support one another, the more we rise and the more we're able to expand on our impact. And then word of mouth between the community, from someone in the community to someone outside who may very well be interested, this becomes currency because of the impact and the flow and the circulation that's happening within this community-driven growth. And then ultimately people become advocates of these movements rather than just customers. They're advocates for the values, they're advocates for the community, they're advocates for the regenerativeness of the circulatory growth and money and expansion, essentially. So this is where wealth starts behaving like a living system rather than just a pipeline. This is where wealth starts to really truly flow to, through, and around us as a community and as people. So small aligned ecosystems are winning, and they will continue to win because they have faster trust cycles and they've got higher retention and loyalty because of the connection and the relations that get to be made through this. It's not just speed conveyor belt. It's more like, okay, well, how can I support you? Where can I meet you? How can we grow together? And how can we create better together? And this keeps people staying. This keeps people loyal. And then also the emotional and the energetic buy-in as well. So when people join aligned ecosystems, like I said, they're joining because of the values. They're joining because of the resonance and the frequency between the people that they're choosing to ally with, essentially. And the fact that these models are adaptable rather than rigid really allows for people to move and flow effectively within these models in ways that suit them as an individual. And this is what it's about. It's about moving forward by our own unique design at our own unique pace. So when it comes to big companies, they're not powerful anymore. They're not as respected as what they once were. It's the coherence that's powerful. It's the resonance that's powerful. And this is what people are more drawn to these days. So when it comes to shifting our identity in this shift of economic flow, it's about moving from consumer to contributor. So instead of being a consumer and continually taking and extracting and being disconnected and not really thinking about what we're a part of or what we're funding, it's more so becoming a contributor in the sense of, okay, well, how can I contribute? How can I lead myself? How can I create? How can I give? How can I serve? It's moving from an employee mindset to an ecosystem builder. It's moving from an employee mindset in the sense of waiting to be told what to do, waiting to be told where to go, waiting to be told anything, waiting to be controlled, and moving to a self-sustained leader, a self-resourced leader. So how can I lead myself? How can I contribute? How can I be a part of this in a way that's first and foremost sustainable for me, but also sustainable for everyone involved? And it also shifts from chasing money to directing money. So we're not going after money for money's sake. We're going after money because of, yes, what it can create for us, but also how we can direct it when we have an overflow of money. Because these ecosystems, hello Hassan, alumni, I hope you're well. I'm sending you love. So yeah, these aligned ecosystems, they allow us to create an overflow of money. And then from that overflow of money that we've created, we don't need to keep chasing money because we have that overflow. So when we have that overflow, we can direct that money in a way that really aligns with our heart and our soul. Hello, Melanie. I hope you're well. I'm sending you love. And this is how we get to shift from extractive to circulatory, from survival instinct to regenerative wealth mindset and frequency and way of being. You're not here to feed broken systems. You're here to redirect flow. And this is what's currently happening is we're moving away from the broken systems that are completely crumbling and moving away. People are realizing the control mechanisms behind it. They don't want to be extracted from anymore. They don't want to be controlled. They don't want to be manipulated in certain ways to fit into these structures and into these boxes. They want to move away and redirect their energetic flow towards ecosystems that are circulatory, that are regenerative, that make the world a better place. First and foremost, that make the individual a better place. And ultimately, through us making ourselves a better version, that ripples out and we're able to support others become better versions and ultimately create better. And it's simply a ripple effect. That's all it is. It happens one person, one family, one community at a time. So when it comes to integrating this knowledge and bringing it into your life, it's really important to audit where your money currently flows. Where are you putting your money? Are you putting it into big corporations or are you putting it into your community? Are you supporting your friends and their businesses? Are you bringing it back local into the community? Are you looking at companies that, yes, may be global, but they're doing good things for the planet? Where is your money going? Choose businesses that circulate, that regenerate, that don't extract. Become aware of where you're putting your money, where you're directing your money. Be a responsible steward of the money that you have. And build and plug into aligned networks that are also circulatory, that are benefiting the world in a way that aligns with you. There's so many different networks that you can align with that support the planet. So it's finding ones that align with you. Prioritize relationships over transactions. This is very important. And this is something that's been an underlying underlying flow, underlying current in the industry that I've been in. It's what is the actual saying? My cat just walked in. What's the actual saying? Connection over commission. That's what it is. It's all about the connection over the commission. It's all about the relationships over the transaction. This is what it's about. And it can take some reprogramming because we've come from an extractive system. We're coming from survival-based instincts. So it can take some time to rewire that within us. And it's really important that we have the right support when it comes to that. And then when we're switching from these extractive systems, it's remembering that money is energy and carrying intention around the money that you have and where you want to spend it, because money does carry intention. So it's important to remember that you are an energetic being. Money is an energetic being. Okay, so what is your intention with the way that you choose to move and flow, as well as the way that you choose to place your money? Where do you choose to place your money? Because everything is energy. What you give, you receive. Whether or not you receive it back from wherever you give it, it comes round, it circulates round. This is the idea of this. This is the whole point of this physical reality. Like attracts like. You receive what you give. So really understanding the intention behind every move that you have in life in general, and also with the money that you have as well. So yeah, every pound, every dollar, every euro is that, what's that? Oh, okay. My Zoom just come up with something. I thought my sound went, but it didn't. So every pound, every dollar, every euro that you spend, that's your vote. That is your vote. That is the control that you have. That's the power that you have. The power that you hold within you is within your frequency, and it's also within your money and the way that you choose to spend your money. All of this la 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 about voting and fucking left and right, it's all smoke screens. It's all illusions. Your true power is where you put your money. So where are you putting your money? Are you putting your money towards corporations that extract, or are you putting your money towards aligned networks that regenerate and circulate? Extraction isolates. Extraction separates. Circulation connects. Circulation supports. So the future of, oh, a minute. Like moving my wire because it's in front of my notes. My brain, it's late here in Bali. My brain's like, oh, I don't want to compute right now. So the future of wealth is relational, regenerative, and rooted in truth. This is what it's about. And this is also why I love doing live videos and connecting with you, so you can really get to know me and my energy. Because for you to want to be able to join me on this movement, you need to really connect with me and what I'm about, and also the words that I'm saying and the frequency that I share. And yeah, it's really important that we come back to our truth, that we come back to our voice, and that we use it for good, that we use it for change, that we use it for shifts. Because our voice is one of the most powerful weapon that we have. And this is why they have done everything that they could to make us feel insignificant and disconnect us from our voice, and ladies, from our womb as well, because our womb is where our wisdom is. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about that. Plug into regenerative models. And if you feel aligned with me, and if you want to expand the mission with me of true health, true freedom, and sovereignty, plug into the regenerative wealth path. This is where we get to come together to support each other rise, to support each other become the happiest, healthiest, and wealthiest that we desire on an individual level. The beauty about our model is there's no cap. There's no cap whatsoever. So however far you want to go, you can go however far you want to go. But if you don't want to go so far, then you can still really beautifully sustain yourself without burning yourself out. This is the beauty of high ticket models. When you get to a certain point within your business, for one sale, you're making 4 figures. You're making an average that people need to be able to live for one sale. So imagine 2 sales, you're thriving. This is what it's about. And I support you in every area to create success, not just in the business, but in your life, in the way that you feel, your personal power, your conviction, your leadership. This is where it's at. Because there's no point having a load of fucking wealth if you haven't got that personal power and the safety and the security that you so desire within your relationships. So we cover everything in my world because it all flows in symbiosis. So yeah, if you have any questions, reach out. And if there's anything that you desire to share in the comments, please do. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And